this is Bitcoin. And down at the bottom here, we've got the cumulative volume delta. And all that is the ratio of market buys to market sells in any given candle. Okay, so say you've got an hourly candle, and within that hour there were 100 Bitcoin bought at market and 100 Bitcoin sold. The delta would look like that. Okay, it would be flat because there was an equal number of market buys and market sells. And if you had 100 Bitcoin bought at market and only 10 Bitcoin sold, let's say, it would look, let's say, something like that. Okay, so it represents the ratio of market buys to market sells, and vice versa. If more Bitcoin had been sold at market than bought, if 100 Bitcoin had been sold and only 10 Bitcoin bought at market, the delta would look like that. So the cumulative volume delta tells us something about the density of limit orders in the book. For example, if you've got, let's see, if you've got a large delta like this one here, we know that there's been a lot of market buying there, but if price remains relatively flat, okay, if the hourly candle looks something like this, let's say, then that suggests to us that there are a lot of limit sellers in here. Okay, because we know we had a lot of market buying and yet price didn't go up, basically. Similarly, if we have a very, if you have a very small delta and price moves a long way, that tells us that the limit order book was likely quite thin, because it didn't take all that much buying for price to push up all this way. Okay, so we use the delta to inform ourselves about the ratio of market buys to market sells, the aggressiveness of buyers and sellers, and two, it contains some important information about the density of the limit order book. So just to give you an example from the chart here, so massive down candle, not all that disproportionate to the amount of market selling which occurred there, but not all that much market buying in the next few hourly candles, and yet price retraces the entire move. Okay, so that tells us that this move was a liquid because it didn't take all that much market buying for price to retrace almost the entire move. Similar here, okay, big down candle, lots of selling. The next few hours, there's not all that much market buying, and yet price retraces the entire move. Okay, so we know that this move was a liquid. And the same down here again, lots of market selling, not disproportionate to the kind of move we get there. Relatively weak buying here, and yet price retraces that entire move. And it's not a surprise to us that this move was a liquid, because look where it occurs. This happens on the break of market structure, basically. Areas where we've got stop loss orders, aggressive sellers, an area in which market makers are quite likely to stop providing liquidity and or widen the spread. Okay, but I hope that's clear. And the point I'm trying to make is that it always comes back to the same thing. Where is there liquidity and where is there not liquidity?